What's up guys, Jake Hutton from Fitness Culture. Today we're gonna be talking about how to fix knee valgus during your squat. So we're gonna be covering my favorite drill that has helped thousands of clients that I've worked with fix this movement pattern dysfunction. And then we're gonna be going over a squat progression that's gonna help you fix it as well. All right, so knee valgus is just gonna be when your knees cave in during a squat, just basically at any time, right? So there could be a couple things that are causing this issue. One could be lack of quad strength, but the thing that I found with most people, it's just a movement pattern issue where they're not really engaging their glutes and really firing them to make sure their knees track right down their toes before they squat. So we're gonna be going over a drill right now that will really help you turn those glutes on and really reinforce the perfect movement pattern. So we've set up a band low on the rack, just right at knee level. And what you're gonna do, it's a light band, you don't need much on this, it's just enough to give you a little bit of feedback. What you're gonna do is step in and put the band right behind your knees, just like this. And then from there, what I usually do with my clients is say, put your hands on your butt and then just press out against the band just a little bit. Not so much that you're rolling up on your feet or anything like that, just a little bit. And you'll notice right now, if you do it yourself, that when you press out, your glutes are gonna fire and turn on a little bit. And that's really gonna externally rotate your femurs a little bit and make sure that your knees are tracking right down your toes. And from there, we're gonna descend into the squat, taking your time, 4 count lower, chest up, then drive out against the band at the bottom. Drive out, drive out, drive out, 2, 3, 4, come back up. We usually do about 3 sets of 10 reps on this to really reinforce good movement pattern. Another thing to think about at the bottom, just to really help drive your knees out as you're coming up, if you have a really big problem with your knees diving in, is to think about pressing the ground apart, right? So try to rip the ground apart on the way up, and that's gonna help you really keep those knees out. So during this entire drill, never let your knees come in. So sometimes when I've worked with my clients in the past, I'll come back in and they're doing it on their own and they're using this really heavy band and they're really just reinforcing a bad movement pattern because they can't keep their knees out during the movement. It's not really about trying to strengthen your glutes or anything like that. It's just giving you a little bit of feedback so when you do the drill, it sets you up for squatting that day. All right, the next thing we're gonna cover is a squat progression that I like to put all of our Fitness Culture app members through right when they come into the program. And we start them off with the front squat. One, because people commonly neglect the front squat. And number 2, because just where the load is placed on the front squat is going to be right over your center of gravity. And for most people, it allows them to reinforce a good movement pattern right off the bat. And also, last thing, it really forces you to use your core during the movement. And I like it for that reason as well. The first technique that we use on this progression is going to be a 1 1/4 front squat, but we're really going to control the eccentrics. So controlling the eccentrics is going to allow you to really dial in your form to make sure your knees are tracking down your toes perfectly. And then the 1/4 rep at the bottom is just gonna allow you to really spend time under tension where people commonly really have the movement fault, because a lot of people will come down and they'll drive out and their knees will come in, right? So the goal is on that 1/4 rep to really drive your knees out, keep them out, control it down there though. We're not using it as like a stretch reflex type of a thing where you're dropping out of the bottom and coming back up. During this progression, we're gonna use it more of just like spending some time in the bottom in that position. We have a 4 count tempo today. So she'll go down for a 4 count, 1, 2, 3, 4, come up to a 1/4 rep, drop back down, drive her knees out, and then come back up. So we usually spend a couple weeks on the 1 1/4 reps for the front squat. The next part of the progression is just gonna be slow eccentric with no 1/4 reps. So Sunny will demonstrate that. So same thing, nice front squat position, and then she's gonna control it down. Let's say it's a 4 count, control it down, drive her knees back up. Good, just like that. From there, we usually taper it down, kick out the eccentric part of it, just move people to a natural tempo and start adding a little bit more weight. Then we deload and then move them through a back squat progression that's very similar to the front squat progression. And almost all of our members at the end of that back squat progression will hit PRs. All right, I hope those tips help you guys fix those knees caving in during your back squat. If you guys wanna check out kind of how we would lay out that front squat progression, we put a link in the description so you can click that and download it so you can actually use this in your training. Another reason that your knees might be caving in during the back squat is hip mobility issues. So if you guys have hip mobility issues, you can click this video right here to check out our hip mobility video, and then click right here if you like the content to subscribe. Thank you.